I think my intuition says human life begins when sperm meets ovum. So, like at that point where those two haploids become a diploid, then that's where human life begins.
It's not really based on when life starts, but maybe when the senses become developed enough where you can consider it a level of consciousness. Because, I mean, you could take trees and roots or grass or whatever, and they all have, to a certain level, they have like a sense of consciousness, you know? They have like responsiveness because they're alive. They will like have a physical response or even a chemical response to physical stimulus.
Our society is so science-based, so if you dug into this question scientifically and figured out when exactly does the heartbeat begin, or when exactly does life actually start forming, or when exactly does the brainwave start moving, you'll get a lot of different answers, and a lot of different people continually arguing and fighting what they believe the right answer is.
I believe that human life begins at the moment of viability. And viability is in the case that the fetus no longer has to depend on the woman's organs. And I think that anything that is depending on the woman's organs up until, as of right now, 25 weeks, could be aborted because it's dependent on the woman's organs. And anything that depends on the woman's organs is basically part of her body, and the woman has the right to decide what happens to her body. But anything past that, it would just be immoral.
I think that it's important for the baby to be able to, in a sense, sustain its own life. Clearly it can't eat, but sustain its own life in the sense that its anatomy is able to keep itself from dying. I feel that abortion is acceptable. It's okay. It's not easy, but I feel that in a circumstance where a woman has been raped, that if she feels the child is going to be a constant reminder of that pain and that suffering that she had to go through, that maybe having an abortion is not such a bad thing. Maybe it could potentially be saving that child from having further pain or damage in the future.
So, for example, if having a baby will reduce her quality of life, so much so that she wouldn't consider herself to really have a life outside of that, and that's not something that she wants, I think it's within her rights to have an abortion.
I thought a lot about when I think it's okay to get an abortion, and I mean, I'm not a woman, so I think this is just speculation, but I think intention really matters. I think I see too much motivation to abort for financial reasons, which I understand, but I think it's more like what's impressed upon us by society. I definitely think before, anytime after there's like significant activity is straight up wrong.
Abortion is definitely the woman's choice because if she's gonna be the one that's, taking care of this baby financially, physically, mentally, then she's kind of the one that's really in charge of it.
I don't think that we know when human life actually begins, but following that, we do know that a mother is a living creature, and we believe in human rights. Therefore, I believe that mother's rights comes before the fetus or the baby's. Part of the right to life is also, in a more radical point of view, the right to kill others for self-defense. And if the mother has to do that, then I believe that's within her rights.
So my other friend, she didn't really talk to me about it, but she talked to my mom about it. After she got the abortion, she kind of felt forced into it when she went into Planned Parenthood. It was like they didn't really let her weigh her options or make a wise decision about it. They just kind of forced it upon her, and then afterwards she felt immediate regret. She felt like this void of like there's something there, and now there's not there. It's not there anymore, and it was just like it was weird, and it's like this deep spiritual thing that she can't really explain.
Once the umbilical cord is cut off, that's the separation between human beings, because that's I believe the umbilical cord is like the linking between the early stages of development. They can't really provide for themselves, so that's technically not a life. So basically, once the organism can survive outside and in an exterior environment, that's basically when it's a life.
But when I believe it's more it's much more spiritual than that, just because I've had a lot of friends that have had abortions and have had a lot of emotional and somewhat spiritual consequences. Personally, my mom, she had 7 miscarriages and she had a stillborn with my sister at 7 months old. And so she used to explain to me a lot of different ways that she thought about life and when it came to abortion and all that, because from so many people that have been pregnant in my life, they have explained to me that the connection between a mother and a child usually starts instantaneously. Of like there's some sort of like spiritual connection where you feel that this is a human being. This is something that's more than just cells and in the body. It's something deeper. It's something more spiritual. And so I guess going back to my Christian roots of just knowing that regardless of where you stand on the abortion thing, that it's more about is life important.
So I think it starts at conception, because I was amazed when I had my son. 13 weeks, I could see a full brain, the scan of his brain, and that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my whole life, and I've been in love ever since. So I think it starts much earlier than with birth. You know, I mean, think about it. At 13 weeks, his brain was fully developed. You know, and not like probably connected, but he had a brain. So I think for me it starts really early, and I'm not a religious person. I just believe that really strongly that, you know, he was a human. He was already thinking, you know, even if he wasn't processing, he was a living person. So I think it's the most amazing thing. That's what I think.